Burnley are 11 points adrift of Forest, and they've still got 11 games left to go. Burnley 0, Bournemouth 2.
There isn't going to be a points deduction big enough for Forest or Everton to give Burnley or Sheffield United a chance now.
I wanted to sing at Bournemouth, to be honest with you. Are you West Ham in disguise?
However, I thought Burnley played quite well yesterday, actually.
That's why I wanted to sing to Bournemouth. Are you West Ham in disguise? Do you know Bournemouth's possession in the game?
I don't, but it's 60 plus, got to be.
Bournemouth's possession in the game.
Burnley's.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying Bournemouth.
What
I'm
was
singing
it?
to Bournemouth. Are you West Ham in disguise?
What was Burnley's possession?
75%.
Wow.
Bournemouth 25%, and they nicked it 2-0.
Yeah, Burnley.
Lovely.
Here's the thing with Burnley, I think, particularly. For those who regularly listen to us, how many times this season have I said, there's something about them, you know, something about them. I think most of the first half of the season, I kept saying, I think they'll be the ones of the 3 promoted clubs who'll get out of this. The problem is they are absolutely atrocious in both penalty areas. Atrocious. Defensively, they're so bad. I mean, that on the first goal, it shouldn't be that easy to score goals. It's very well taken by Justin Kluivert, don't get me wrong. But it's so easy. The second goal's perfect. And when Bournemouth did actually have their moments, you did think, I score goals here. No
3 shots on target,
no problem.
2 goals. Conversion is crazy high.
And their conversion of chances for Burnley is obviously a problem as well. I wasn't impressed with Fofana particularly. He was very heavy with his touches and that. And yet in midfield, despite missing Josh Brownhill, who's been a key player for them, they played really well. In between the 2 boxes, they play absolutely fine. Your mate the fly every week. Are you gonna? Would you kill a fly? Would you kill a fly? I will kill it. Oh, he's buzzy. How is he still alive? It's like every Monday he turns up for like 5 minutes. You've put him on his back now, the poor bastard. Okay, he's fine. Brilliant.
Done.
It's nice to see you jump out your skin anyway.
It's like, what the hell is that? It's not a drop of water like last time I thought it was. Condensation.
Burnley rule out of looking at, even at 29. Like, for those on Charlie Taylor, like, well done on your 1 point this week, and your 1 point in game with 29 is probably where it's at. Even against, I know Brentford aren't hugely convincing. I would not be expecting anything from that. I would be surprised if they kept a clean sheet for the rest of this season. They've got no, they don't give you anything in terms of a sense of they're in control at any point when they're defending, unfortunately. I really liked how they played in between the 2 boxes. That said, I think they were unlucky not to even win the game, never mind get something out of it. Bournemouth were poor, which is more of interest for people going into this week. I don't think we should read too much into it. They were poor. If you think about the 2 teams that are playing next, Luton and Sheffield United, it's actually not relatable to Burnley. Neither are going to dominate the ball in the way that Burnley. I'm sure Luton can have spells, but that absence of Lokonga now, no. Sheffield United ain't going to go to Bournemouth and dominate the ball. So it's not too much we should read into it. But at the same time, they weren't good. Andoni Iraola, half-time interviews with managers walking across the pitch, like that. He was very blunt about not happy, and if we don't improve, we won't get something out of the game. By the way, I don't think they did improve much, and yet they still won the game by more. Yep. Admittedly, the longer they went on, the more chances they had on the counter. I think Solanke, for me, if he's fit, is given, get him in, captain. I don't want to be on the wrong side of that with those 2 fixtures. He could only be better if it was Burnley and Sheffield United at home. Yeah, but he didn't score against Burnley, and I get it, and he didn't look himself, but on a different day, he's actually got more goals away than at home, I think, this season. I think so. But on a different day, it'll fall to him nicely. It's what it can be, can't it? He could get a hat-trick in one and one in the other or something, couldn't he? He could go off. I don't want to be on the wrong side. Morris could, score 1 in both. That's how it feels like. That would be great. Solanke could get a hat-trick in either. That's the difference between the 2, I think. Okay. So that's a given for me to get in. I think defensively, Kerkez for this week.
Yep.
If you were free hitting this week, I think it's Neto, Kerkez, Solanke would be the 3. For those looking a bit longer, Zabani is stable but not going to do a lot for you. That said, does Kerkez majorly make you feel like he's going to get offensive returns? There was nothing in that game yesterday, but then he didn't have the opportunity to get forward enough. And I do know that historically, Iraola's teams can have a left-sided bias, which might show more in some of these next two fixtures. Kerkez is the sexier pick rather than Zabani. On Senesi, as said earlier, I think he's probably more likely to not play again this season than play this week. So obviously, look, don't rush a decision, but I'm pretty sure on Friday you'll find out that he's definitively ruled out. So begin making plans. The midfielders is too tough. I think Tavernier is probably the one that's going to get the most favouritism and will be the one that people want to go to, because historically that's what we've seen in terms of his returns per minute has always been better than others. Their record when he plays has been better as well. That predates even Iraola under Gary O'Neill last season. So I think Tavernier is the one that will be really popular. I think Alex Scott is just not getting enough minutes to trust in that at the moment. If Semenyo was a midfielder, he'd be the one, I think. But it's a forward, so how are you fitting it in? Maybe three hitters could go Semenyo, Morris and Solanke this week. There's so many other midfielders you could pick. Maybe that's a possibility. I don't think buying Semenyo is on the table, really, for most people. So I think it's probably Tavernier from the midfielders. If you're running a little bit longer term, I get the appeal of Kluivert because of his price. That's an easier one to bench. But the thing is with them is, their fixtures are so good, even from game week 30 onwards, you don't really want to be benching it. No. You want to play it, and I think it's going to be a headache. I think the fact that they're out of the FA Cup is really good news for game week 28. It's increased the probability massively of getting the same team twice. But we can't be shocked if the likes of Tavernier don't start twice. If it's just Sheffield United at the weekend, which is great in itself, don't get me wrong, and then Sinistera plays instead of one of them against Luton, for example. Billing plays instead of Kluivert. These sort of things can definitely happen. Dango Ouattara as well. And Dango Ouattara is a small threat to Kerkez, I think, by the way. He played left-back against my team, do you remember? When they had loads of injury problems. And he actually played really well, and he went off injured. And in fixtures like these, I don't think it's impossible that Iraola could even look at doing that. So the only one that's, with the two that's safe, is Smith, subject to Aaron's fitness, and Zabani definitely. I guess Chris Mepham, he's going to play twice as well over this period. Zabani's the one. If you need it long term, Zabani's probably the only one you can go to.
I ain't buying none of that.
Neto in goal is perfectly reasonable.
I ain't buying none of that. I think I'm going to have no Bournemouth going into this
They have
week.
a great run, and there's a good possibility of them potentially doubling in 34 as well when it stiffens up. So, and then you can bin it for the run-in. Really good fixtures coming up.
When we get down to the diff show on Friday, I'm going to be predicting Sheffield United to get a draw 1-1 at Bournemouth. So I'm avoiding them. I'm going to be getting nada out of Bournemouth. No interest whatsoever.
You can see it now, can't you? Both Bournemouth games ending 1-1. Goal scorers being like Aarons and...
Well, like yesterday, Kluivert and Cook, or whoever it was. Kluivert and Semenyo.
Lewis Cook, 2 assists. You've seen Lewis Cook's XA?
Probably 0.
0.02 for the game, yeah. I mean, it's 2 assists from his own half. Shout out to Fabian Shares, 0.00 XA assist for Tino Livramento at the weekend as well.